Hey everyone, and welcome. Just really wanted to tell you about a tool which has been around for a little while that I've used a couple of times myself to upgrade the experience of the Kali box. So it's predominantly called PimpMyKali.sh. Is a bash script which has been written by DeWalt from the sort of TCM, the Cyber Mentor team. Using this, it takes about 15-20 minutes to install. It's instead of doing this sort of apt-get upgrade and update, tac Y or space minus Y. So what it does is you run through, and I'm going to demonstrate this running it on a vanilla straight out the box Kali machine. I'm going to run it from the Git clone and then all the way through, just running it with a capital N for a new box. So as we said, it does do the upgrade and update, but also fixes any symbolic links. It installs additional tools and then increases a wider sort of word list as well, so it really does pack a big punch, and it's really good. Loads of contributors, and it's a really good tool to use. So what I'm going to do is quickly load this out of a vanilla Kali box. So if I jump to my Kali demo machine, load it up, and let's get started. So you can see this is loading. Might take a little minute, and then so what we're going to do is basically prove that we're going to log on from start from the Kali credentials, which are the standard ones. It used to be root Tor, which is TWR, which is root backwards, back in about 2019. And that's one of the additional options this tool gives you, is to restore back to that original way of working. I know that, like, especially sort of offensive security don't particularly, and when we're using Linux, we try not to use root level privileges all the time. We use sudo more than we should, and we use that way of working. But obviously, going back, if you're used to using your root credentials, then that's what we can do. So as a part of this, the load. So what we'll do is get to the logon screen and then get to Kali and move from there. So here we go, logon screen using the original credentials. I can log on, and what I'll do is I'll quickly pull in the link, the GitHub link for the script, bash shell script itself. Down here, we don't need to run the RM because that's if you've already run it previous, and this is a new box straight out the zip file itself from the Offensive Security website. So open up the terminal, and what I'll do is I'll quickly see where I am. I'm on the desktop. I'm going to change directory to one above, pwd. So that's me in my area. So what I'll do is make a directory, tools, and then change directory into tools, and then get it downloaded. So what I'll do is I'll just make it bigger just so you can see what's going on. Brilliant. So I've just quickly created a directory called tools, and what I'm going to do is paste that in this and give it a little minute. It should download, and we can see there I've got tools, which is sat within so I'm sat within tools, and I can see I've got PimpMyKali there. So if I change directory into PimpMyKali, and there's a shell script there, so if I want to run that on sudo pimpmykali, run that. And then what we've got is different options here. So new VM setup is for capital N, so that's what I'm going to be putting in a minute. And what this does is it's broken down on the GitHub page. It runs 1 to 8, and then also runs number 9, so upgrades as well. So it does the full update and upgrade, fixes symbolic links, loads of tools, loads of additional word lists as well. So if I do a capital N, and it's straight in, no need to enter. As I said, this takes about 15-20 minutes to initially run. It's going to go through loads of bits, and it's sort of good to keep an eye on what it's doing, see if it's coming up with any errors, and having run this a few times before, it doesn't, for what I've seen. But what also I will see is a prompt come up later, and you'll see in the video about root logon and changing that initial, then allowing you to log on as root. Copies all your directory stuff from Kali to the root logon, so it's root, and then we'll then log on as root. So I'll be back in a minute once I'm at that next prompt, but keep an eye while this is running, just to see what it's actually installing. So see here, it's installed pip. So obviously we're not running any Python scripts we need to. That's a standard part of the install and often required after. So there are additional tools you can do to get install Kali or tools, but that does take up a significant amount of room. And what you do discover is this script does install a lot of tools that we standardly need from day to day when running on things like try hack or hack the box, for example, and this will install a lot of the default tools right for that. So you don't have to install a lot of the bot for this script. Cool. I'll wait for the next prompt to appear and then we'll continue. So we're to our first prompt, and it does say read carefully. So what it's saying is back in 2019, we used to log on with the default credentials of root, obviously giving us higher privilege, but currently we use from 2020 onwards, including 2023 now, we use Kali, which are the sort of credentials that you read and that you get from the offensive cyber site. So as a part of this, it's asking, do we want to reinstate the root privilege instead of using the default Kali? So what I'm going to do is, because I was used to operating back then, I put yes, and then it's going to ask me for what password I want to do. I'll put in, for example, just for this one, I'm going to go lowercase and put the original password that it used to be, TOOR. Obviously it's not safe really to put that, but within this video, that's what I'm sort of going to set it as. Then put it in again, TOOR, and then it's saying, do I want to copy, so this prompt it's asking, do I want to copy the entirety of home Kali to then copy it to root? So move everything. And what I'm going to say is yes, and what we will say is we'll see it all move across and we'll test it, because we'll see effectively that tools folder we've created then move across to root. And once that's all fully built up, it shouldn't take that long. We get there, it may ask us to restart, it may not. It's good sort of practice to do that. And then once we're back on, we'll show you the contents of root. We'll log on as root, and we should see that PimpMyKali or the tools directory then appear. And that's sort of fully updated, ready to go, and getting on various platforms and carrying learning. Cool, we'll see you at the next prompt. Thanks very much. So you can see at this point, this is expanding a lot of word lists that we have, and doing that from different resources. So we go, yeah, script now. So I'm just going to restart and then log on as root. So once it's restarted, previously logged on as Kali to run the bash script, and then logged on now with the newly created or amended root account. So once that's up and ready, we'll then check that the PimpMyKali script has been moved over to root as a sort of last check, and then that's the script fully running. Cool. We'll just wait to get to the logon window. So we're loading into the logon window. Let's go with root and the password that I previously set, TOOR. You can pick what you want, and then the desktop should load. But then going into the command line interface itself from terminal, we should see open here. Then if I go, just enlarge it, and then go pwd, that should be sat desktop. If I go back one, ls, it should see the tools, change directory tools. And there you go, PimpMyKali script is there, changed. I don't need to run it again, but I can see what's sat within there. I can see the PimpMyKali script itself. Cool, so that's it running. Everything's been updated and it's allowed me to then log on as root, which then, for example, if I'm running nmap, I don't need to put sudo in front of it. It's just a little bit easier way of working, and it'll behave like root instead of having to run sudo for it then to be in certain modes like quiet mode. Cool. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.